one of the reasons we overwork is because we're good at what it is that we do. Oh, hey friends, welcome back to the podcast. This is the Jennifer Allwood Show. I'm Jennifer Allwood, and I'm getting ready to take a month off from work, friends. Okay, listen. I have gone back and forth, both myself and my team, about do we announce this publicly? Do we not announce it publicly? If I announce this, how are my clients going to respond? We've talked back and forth. I've also went back and forth between thinking, okay, maybe I can't even take the whole month off, etc. But I want to talk to you today about taking off the entire month of July, how I've tried to prepare for that, how my team has tried to prepare for it, what brought us to this decision, why I'm doing it, what it means for business, and how it kind of almost ties into what my team's going to be teaching this month, which is automating your business. And so, okay, here's the dealio. All right. My plan is, as of today, what is today's date? Let me look at my phone here. Today is Saturday. It's Saturday. I don't know why I just said it like that. June the 21st. Okay. My plan at this point is that I will be off the entire month of July. And I think I want to do this podcast, first of all, for some accountability. Second, so I can lead by example. It's important to me to do that, to always be showing you guys what is possible. But and it's one of the goals that I've literally had on a post-it note. If you're watching me right now on YouTube, I can see a post-it note right here that I've had on my computer for at least 2 years that says goals. No Monday meetings. Okay. Eventually no Voxer. I don't know that I'll ever get to that. July off. Okay. So this has been like a goal of mine, something that I've been wanting to do for a hot minute. And I'm going to tell you all the reasons why July. And I don't know what's wrong with my hair, but I'm going to need to make this a little bit tighter or it's going to bug me. And I'm going to play with my hair the entire episode. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, you see it. Otherwise you don't. All right. So friends, this has been on a post-it note for a hot minute. Okay. But now like July is getting here and I'm like, crap, can I do it? Can I do it? But here's why July. All right. First of all, July 4th, we're off as a team. I'm off. It's on a Friday. I like people having like a long weekend. Okay. So more than likely there won't be a ton going on with Team Allwood on Thursday, the 3rd. We're going to be off on the 4th. Okay. So that's the first week. Second week of that month, I was already going to plan on taking off because Easton Allwood, who's here, editing the podcast for YouTube, is getting married on 7/11. That's right. That is National Slurpee Day. So I was planning on taking off that entire week to do all things wedding related. All right. Recently, probably oversharing, probably going to have a vulnerability hangover later. It's fine, whatever. But I've been diagnosed with a hyperthyroid. They're actually diagnosing me with something called a subclinical hyperthyroidism, which means that my thyroid is very much overactive right now. It's been heading in this direction for like the last 18 months, where my numbers just keep going down, down, down. But a lot of the symptoms I have of a overactive thyroid, I don't have. I have the exact opposites. For instance, I should be really, really, really thin, friends. Instead, I'm pretty curvy. And that's okay. I mean, I embrace the curves. I should be like hot all the time. Instead, I'm freezing all the time, to the point where I've even jokingly showed you guys I have like this nose warmer that sometimes I have to put on my face, or Jason will get me out at like a stationary little heater. Yes, even in the summer, because it's like my face is so cold. I've been thinking, what's wrong with me? Do I have like poor circulation? Turns out I don't. And no, I also do not have Graves' disease. They just got done testing me for that. I don't, but I do have to have like 2 different days of thyroid testing in July. I planned it for right after the wedding. Okay, so it's gonna be taking off a couple of. Then Jason and I have planned to take whoever in the family wants to go with us to Bougie on the Beach, our first property in Florida. And so I've got 11 days booked for us there. And then it's my birthday. Yes, I'll be 54. And Ari's birthday, the last week of this month. So it's like, if I'm ever going to take off, and randomly, I've always said, if I'm going to take off a month, I would just like for it to be July. Now, here's a couple of reasons why. Back when I owned the Magic Brush, we always had a saying that any months that started with the letter J, we're going to be just slower. So that is June, July, January. Nobody's getting their house painted in January because it's right after the holidays. Everybody's still paying for the holiday bills. They just got done, racing to have their house painted before the holidays when their family that they don't even like was going to be there. I mean, you know the deal, right? But June and July were always slower because a lot of my clients were stay-at-home moms. Or maybe they weren't even stay-at-home moms, but the kids were home for the summer. Nobody wants a mess during the summer. People are going on the lake. They're going vacationing. So we just always knew June and July were slower. So even back then, I would think to myself, if ever I wanted to take off a month, I wish it could be July, just my birthday month, etc. Well, then last year I saw Anthony O'Neill, who I've had on the podcast. You can Google Jennifer Allwood, Anthony O'Neill, and see what that podcast number was. But he literally took off the entire month of July, and that's his birthday month. And I was like, baller. And then I saw like Amy Porterfield took off, I think she maybe took off 7 weeks. Don't quote me on that. But I was like, oh my gosh, okay, other people are doing it. Jen, you can do this too. And so for that reason, July just feels right. Now, um, I have not taken off from the business more than 2 weeks, like off of social media or anything ever. And I started this company 25 years ago. Um, so when I was writing Fear is Not the Boss of You, which was 6 years ago because it came out 5 years ago, can you guys believe it's been out that long already? But when I was writing that, I went and holed up in a hotel for a couple of days, and I took 2 weeks off of social media because I felt like God was saying, Jen, you need like no outside what do I want to say? Input. I need you to get off of social so you can finish writing this book without being impressed by or led by or, influenced at all by anything else that you're seeing on social. At the time, there were a couple of big names who were writing books, that are still writing books. And I felt like, how am I ever going to put out something like that? I knew that my book publisher was putting a lot of weight into my book, of it doing really well. Of course, we had no idea COVID was going to hit, 3 weeks before the book went live. But I took it very seriously. I felt like the Lord was like, off of social for 2 weeks. So I went off of social for 2 weeks. Jason put me up in a hotel for a couple of days to finish the book, etc. And so, yes, I was off for social media for 2 weeks, but I still wasn't off of email, and I was writing a book. So I was still working, right? It wasn't like the work, that I do on a normal day. So it was just a different work. I had Noah Allwood 23 years ago, Easton Allwood 21 years ago, Ava Allwood 17 years ago, and we adopted Ari almost 7 years ago. And, and I'm not saying this as like with a martyr mentality. Okay, so please hear me, but when you own your own business, it is very difficult to take a, set amount of time off. So literally I would pop out a baby, but I'd still be, in the next couple of days, messaging with clients, messaging with designers, taking a 2-week-old newborn to a job site. I mean, it's not like I got 6 weeks off, because when you are self-employed, you don't work, you don't eat. Which, by the way, is a biblical concept, but you don't work, you don't eat. So there is no 12, paid weeks of vacation. So I've never taken like time off. So in my head, as we've gotten closer to June or July 1st, we were racing through June, which is just insane that we're to the end of the month already. The truth is, I keep wondering, like, can I do this? Is this possible? Now, let me just say this. I'm not wondering about that from like the standpoint of, can my team take care of things? Because my team is more than capable of running the ship. 100%. I'm wondering if I'm capable. And that's part of the reason I need to do this podcast, just for some accountability. It's almost like when you decide you're going to try to, get some control over your waistband, and you're going to try to get back in shape. And when you tell a few people, then you feel like at least somebody's going to be checking up on you. And so you're more committed then to staying the course. And so I'm hoping that by sharing with you, I am inspiring you to look at how you can put systems and automations in place so that you can take time off. I hope that I'm inspiring you just to take even off weekends. I hope I'm inspiring you to set a big goal for yourself down the road. And I hope I'm also just sharing with you, just in vulnerability, some things that will just, give you some teachable moments in your own business. Okay. So I know my team is totally capable. What I don't know of is Jennifer capable? I don't know. Because the truth is, I'm probably addicted to this phone. Isn't that a really cool phone case, by the way? If you're looking on YouTube, I'm showing you. It's one of those, I think it's called Fluent is the name brand. And it's square, which isn't why I love it, but it's like a mermaid. It's like blue, it's like green, it's like purple. I love it. Okay. When I look at my phone and the number of hours a day I'm on that thing, I'm embarrassed, you guys. I'm literally stinking embarrassed. And I feel like I can't gripe at my kids when I'm guiltier. Okay. I feel, and there's a lot of times I use the excuse of, well, a mom's on her phone because my business is on my phone. I mean, that's all true and valid. But just because business is on my phone doesn't mean I need to be on it. And so I need to break some habits right now. I need to break some habits of scrolling. I need to break some habits of doom scrolling in particular. I need to break some habits of just mindlessly looking at other people and watching them live their life, when I just want to be more invested in my own. And I don't want to be like, and I even talked about this in Fear Not the Boss of You. I never want to be somebody who's filming more of her life than actually living in the moment for my life. Okay. So trying to model not only for you guys, but also trying to model for my children. What's it going to look like to get off the phone? So I have a lot of things that in the next 9 days, we still need to get figured out. And I'm going to talk to you about some of those right now, just, kind of where we're landing, because there's still things that have to get done. And so I know that my team is capable of taking care of all the things. And so the question is, can I allow the people I've put in place and the processes we have put in place? Can I allow them to do what they're supposed to do without me needing to double check? That's the bottom line. And again, it's not because I don't think my team can do it. It's because I don't know how to do it. Does that make sense? Like, it's not a matter of, oh, Jen's so good, so she needs to check in on her team just to make sure they're doing it. It's not that at all. It's just that the number of times I pick up my phone every day and open up my email app out of habit is ridiculous, and I've got to break it. I don't feel like I have like many addictive things in my personality. Sugar, maybe. But my phone is one of them. And it's not something I'm proud of. And I really want to get away from it. Okay. So I have always said that it is easy to overwork. It is hard to rest. It is easier for a woman, I think, to get into overworking mode than it is to put work down and take care of the things that she says are honestly the most important to her. Because especially when life gets hard. Now, listen, ladies, please like pay attention to what I'm saying. And there's no condemnation here, but this will convict somebody because it convicts me. The reason sometimes that we overwork is because most of the time we're good at what it is that we do, whether that's you're overworking at corporate, even while you're building, your side gig, or you're overworking, in your painting company, you're overworking in your coaching business, you're overworking. One of the reasons we overwork is because we're good at what it is that we do. All right. God has gifted us. You've got anointing in that place. You figured it out. You're comfortable. You're confident to a degree, etc. When life's happening outside of that, so you've got kids going off the rails, you've got issues going on in your marriage, you have extended family that's got trouble going on, money is, a stressor. When there are things like that going on, adding any additional pressure, stress, additional thoughts, thinking, you guys all know what I'm talking about. When life is lifing, a lot of times we will turn to overworking because we know how to do that. It's easier to get into work mode than it is to go home and deal with that teenager. It's easier to just continue working even when you don't need to because you're comfortable and confident in that. And you might feel uncomfortable and unconfident in some of the personal relationships that need tended to. So like no condemnation, but like I have to constantly examine my own, work habits. And the truth is like I'm at this desk very few hours a week. I am here probably less than 15 hours a week sitting at this desk. But it's when I'm outside of the desk, when I'm sitting on the deck with Jason and we're, catching up on a Netflix series or something, that I'm picking up my phone, I'm checking DMs, I'm looking at emails. It's when, we're at Ari's 5th grade graduation and I see notifications come in. Like that's the trouble. It's not sitting at the desk. So can we also just agree on the fact that when we're overworking, I'm not talking about just being in the office with paperwork. I'm just talking about anything that is taking you away from personal things. You're working. Every time I'm scrolling on social media and I'm like, well, I learned things here and I'm seeing what other people are doing and I'm getting inspired and I'm posting at the same time. Like, yes, there's truth to that. But I'm also, whenever I'm saying yes to that, I'm instinctively saying no to Jason and the kids. I'm instinctively saying no to my friendships. I'm instinctively saying no to taking care of my body, reading a book, doing things that are good for me. Does that make sense? And so I hope that you understand that it takes a lot more guts to rest than it does to work. And there is a holiness that comes with rest. And by the way, it's a biblical command. Jesus rested, and yet we think, that work can't go on without us. And so um, it's necessary for me right now. I need to just step away, put some better boundaries in place, get some better habits, get some clarity around some things, and come back ready to go. So I've tried to figure out like, okay, what is this going to look like? The team and I have sat down, in terms of um, me being out, like strategically, logistically, what does this look like? And there's 5 areas that I have to kind of figure out, and we have to have a plan for, and we have to have covered. Now, some of this we're still kind of working on, but I want to walk you through this because for some of you, you're like, ding, 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 I want to do this next year. So I want to kind of let you know what I'm focusing on. Okay. So number one, somehow email still has to get covered. Now, when you guys send an email to jen@jenniferallwood.com, it goes to my team. There's several people that can, read that. But I do have like 2 personal email accounts. And so, I've got stuff that comes in there. Um, but there are some work things that still go to that account. Okay, so when I used to do a lot of public speaking, for instance, I would get emails to that. Back when I was writing Fear is Not the Boss of You, all of my publishing team, my agent, the editor, all that, they would all email, my personal account. And so I get a lot of business emails in my personal account. And so that is something that's going to have to be checked. So the last couple of weeks, I've spent a lot of time unsubscribing from emails that are coming to my personal accounts that I do not need. Okay. That includes like 97 different clothing boutiques. I'm like, Jen, but there's this part of me that's like, I know, but what if they have a cute outfit for the 4th of July? I just need to know. I just need to get them out of my inbox. And so I've been unsubscribing like crazy. I am going to go to unenroll.me. I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but it's a place where you can go on the internet and you basically put in your email and it'll show you everything that you are currently subscribed to. So you can do like a mass unsubscribe. So I am going to do unenroll.me. And I just think that that's going to help a lot. Okay. So in terms of email, I do have to probably still check. And so I'm having somebody on my team basically go to my inbox and they can delete the Evereve email that I get every day that I am not unsubscribing from. Evereve and Athleta. Those are my 2. I actually said somebody on Instagram DM me today. She's like, for real, where do you get most of your clothes? Workout clothes, always Athleta. Most of my work clothes, if I had to pick one place, I would say I get the majority from Evereve, but I'll do Target as much as I'll do like Nordstrom Rack. Does that make sense? So it's a wide variety, but those 2 I'm not unsubscribing from. So somebody on my team though is going to have to continue, they're going to have to continue like just going through my inbox for me and basically saving for me anything that they think I might need. And then my plan as of right now is to give myself a time limit on my iPhone every day so that I can only check email for, maximum of 10 minutes or something and then be done. Okay. So that's one part of my job. Second, what am I going to do about social media content? So every time I do a podcast, I immediately, not all the time, I guess I should say like 90% of the time. If I remember, if I'm feeling froggy, if all the stars align, then I do a reel and the reel is saved in my drafts. So right now I'm trying to figure out, okay, I don't want to have to go into my drafts every Monday and Wednesday when a podcast episode comes out and edit the video that I did right behind the podcast as I record them at the same time, because that will be like 10 times or is there 4 weeks or 5 weeks in the month of July? I'm feeling like there's 5, but I could be wrong. And so I don't want to have to edit 8 to 10 videos that month. So I'm still doing the reels. I'm still doing the video, but I'm going to download the video just to my phone and put it into a Google Drive for my team and let my team still push the reels for the podcast out. I am very nervous about not having social media content on Facebook and Instagram for the entire month. So at least I'll have some reels. And the reason I'm nervous is because it will kill my reach. And if you're thinking, oh, my reach is already bad, it's probably because you're not posting every day anyway. I mean, honestly, because if I go to my reach right now, can I just brag a little bit? Let me go to my Facebook page right now. I'm going to tell you what my reach is this month. I was actually going over this in our inner circle call the other day. If you don't know how to check this, go to your business page, go down to your insights at the bottom, and then you're going to be able to see what you've earned for the month, how many followers you got for the month, and what your like engagement and reach is. And I believe it was 1.2 million, 1.7 million in the last 30 days. I have reached 1.7 million people in the last 30 days. So I don't want that to go backwards. And so I am planning on scheduling some posts between now and then. Also, it's my birthday, so I'm going to want to do a birthday post. Also, it's Easton's wedding. I just want to post a picture of Easton's wedding. But what I don't plan on doing is like answering my DMs. So my team is going to be doing that. What I don't plan on doing is like making sure I have something on Facebook every day. I will come in and I'll post a couple times during the month. I am going to have all the reels my team's going to do, but that way we keep a little bit of consistency and I don't have to resuscitate my social media accounts quite as much as I would if I take the entire month off. It's scary, not going to lie. It's scary. Okay. So, third area that we've got to get covered is just all the coaching I do. So, I have lots of Voxer clients. We do Voxer coaching for a handful of people. If you're ever interested in that, you go to jenniferallwood.com and see what I'm talking about. So it's 3 months of working with myself and my team, and you have Voxer access to us Monday through Friday, etc. So the rub for me is this. I have been going back and forth between, are my clients going to be upset? And at the end of the day, here is what I have landed on. My hope is that my clients are not upset. They have all, they're doing a 3 month with me, the ones that have Voxer access to me. If there's something that they really need my thoughts on, my opinion on, my team will let me know and I can sneak in and just, do a quick Voxer response or whatever. But I want to lead by example. And oddly enough, or strategically enough, Nell is teaching all month about systems, like practical systems and processes for our clients. And I mean, that goes in tandem with what I'm doing with taking some time off. So she's focusing on automation, like in the inner circle all month. So it's like perfect timing. In addition, every time I pull away from business, like let's say I go on vacation with Jace, or I'm at our place in Florida or something, when I come back, I'm always full of inspiration, lots of words. There's a whole lot going on. I can only imagine if I do that for 3 or 4 days at a time, what 30 days will be like when I come back. I will be coming back like raring to go. And so my hope is that our clients are like, okay, Jen's showing me what's possible. She is leading by example. She's got everything covered. We are going to get a whole lot of training this month on automations, systems, processes. And that I'm hopeful that my clients are all like, hot diggity dog, like, see you later, Jen. So there's that. Now, one of the things I do in my coaching groups is I always have like live prayer calls every month. We have 1 or 2 every month. And so this month I've got you guys covered. I have Monica Spate going to be coming into the inner circle, and she's doing one of the prayer calls. And so if you don't know who Monica is, you can go to podcast episode 547 in the last couple of weeks. I interviewed Monica about something called phantom work. It was a fabulous conversation. Monica started out as a client of mine and I just love and respect her so much. And she has such depth and wisdom. I also always joke with her that she has like a Lisa Bevere anointing on her because she just puts out these like one-liners, these zingers that just like hit you where it hurts, with like a holy conviction type of thing. So she's going to be doing one of the prayer calls. And I've got to call into another friend whose name you would all know to see if they want to do another one for me. So like you're going to get somebody other than me praying for your business this month if you're a client of mine. And I think that's a win all around, right? Right. Okay. So then the last part of my business that I really have to figure out is, what are we going to do with the podcast? So the team and I went back and forth between just pausing. I mean, I've had the Jennifer Allwood Show for over 7 years. We're getting ready to hit 7 million downloads. I don't want to pause momentum, but I do want to take a break. And so I've gone back and forth because in my head, I'm like, just take the month off. But also I know what happens when you take time off. And if nothing have I not been at least consistent. And so we're not taking the podcast off for the month of July. I have just been batch recording, which means like I've been recording more than normal every week so that we have plenty of episodes for still every Monday and Wednesday during the month of July, including an interview where I interview Amy Porterfield about when she took her sabbatical. I think it was the year before last, and I think it was for like 7 weeks. So I still have the show. It's going on without me. There's still some things I have to set up though. Okay. I know like my friend Adrienne Richardson, who you guys have heard me talk about, she used to do all of our Facebook ads. She's now moving into the life coaching space, but she gave me some great advice to just have one person on your team who is able to text you. Normally my team communicates via Voxer, but she's like, just take the Voxer app off your phone for the month and just let one team member, like everybody has to like ask Nell if they have a question for me. And if Nell can't answer it, then Nell will text me. And I'm like, that is a great idea. So there's still some things like that we're working on, but it's taken us the whole month of June for the very intentional planning, but we've been having conversations about this literally, I think, since January. And so, I'm not going to be disappearing completely because I want to post stories about Easton's wedding and about my birthday and about our trip. But I also really want to disconnect enough that I get the healthy reset that I think we all need. And, I was talking to a friend of mine this morning whose husband is a business owner here locally in Kansas City, and he owns a lawn company. And we were just talking about just the heaviness of business ownership. And I told her, people that are not business owners, they don't understand this, and it's nothing against them, okay? Because they have other pressures that I don't get as somebody who works for herself, all right? But one of the things that is really hard as a self-employed business owner is that you're just never able to shut it off. Most of my friends work, for somebody else. They work at a hospital, they work for somebody. So they're able to shut their laptop at 5 o'clock or walk out of the building at 4:35 and be done with it. When you own your own business, you are never able to get away from it. And that it can go on like that for a while. But I'm going on 26 years now of just not being able to get away from it and telling myself that I couldn't and not being able to figure out how, and worried that I'm going to lose clients, worried that we're going to lose money, worried that we're going to lose momentum. And now I'm to the point where I do honestly think that most business owners are in adrenal fatigue. I do think that most business owners get to a point, if they're in business long enough, where their body is in such a fight or flight mode on a consistent level that they get stuck in fight or flight, and that they're constantly revved up on the inside, even if the outside appears to be at a state of rest. Can anybody relate to that? If you're watching on YouTube, please leave me a comment. If you're listening on the podcast app, please just share this, if you would, on Instagram and tag me and let me know your thoughts. But it's really difficult, A, to turn it off when you own your own business. B, it's really difficult to get away from the pressure of, I have people that I'm responsible for. I have family I need to feed. I have people that work for me that have families that they need to feed. I have clients that expect me to, show up. I have you guys, the listeners, my followers on social media. It feels like a lot of pressure. And the truth is, at some point, we just got to go, you know what? But me resetting has to come above all the pressure that I'm putting on myself about the other stuff. It really does. And so I'm hopeful that this is like demonstrating some leadership that's really uncomfortable for me. But my hope is that while I am off, the Lord is just giving me vision and direction and more creativity and clarity. And that I'm really able to just dial into my family and the joy that we're about to have in the month of July. So, friends, my hope is that if you're in my inner circle, that you're going to get some tools this month so that you can really feel comfortable and confident about building a business that doesn't require you to be working 24/7. If you're not my inner circle, by the way, you can go to equipped360.com and sign up for the software and the coaching there. Equipped360.com. I hope that you take away from this the fact that our bodies are not designed to be in that sort of constantly on, hustling constantly type of mode nonstop. We're supposed to be like not hustling constantly, but like stewarding well what God gave us constantly. And so right now, stewardship to me feels like stepping away. So let this be your permission slip for those of you that need it to reduce your workload, to plan some time off, to plan a step away, to be dreaming about what this could look like for you. And again, if you want some tips and tools on automation processes, all those things, go to equip360.com. Even if you don't want to use our Equip 360 software, just sign up there because you get the coaching with that. And Nell's going to be teaching about that all month inside of my coaching group. So, whoo, that felt like a lot of words. And it also felt very vulnerable. And I am really hopeful that I can do this well, honestly, because I'm going to be so mad at myself if I get to the middle of July and I'm still checking all the things all the time. I'll be so irritated. So in the next 9 days, I need just like some wind beneath my wings. I need the Lord to continue to just convict me. I think that I'm actually going to need to be brave. And bravery doesn't always look like working hard. Sometimes I think bravery can look like resting hard too. So, so much love to you guys. Again, you're going to keep getting the podcast. Um, I hope this inspired somebody today. Please just leave me a comment on YouTube. You're still going to get the podcast on both YouTube and all the other podcast places because I'm filming them all in advance. But so much love to you guys, and I appreciate you being here. And I know you'll be here again still for me in August. So love you. I have the best followers in the world. I will put my followers, my listeners up any day of the week against anybody else's. And I really honestly mean that. I really do. And I appreciate you. Love you. And we'll talk soon. All right. Bye-bye. Easton, can your mom rest for 31 days? I don't know.